Hi guys, it's Lynn here. I hope you're having an amazing day. Now today guys, in this video I'm going to be talking to you about what things to do, like a pre-spring clean up and tidy up, and things to look out for with your cacti and succulents. Now this is our polytunnel here, and it is sort of nearly springtime, and in the next month or two we're going to be bringing a lot of the plants that we're overwintering inside the house back out here into the polytunnel. So I'm going to be making a lot more room. As you can see, there's lots of spaces around. I'm going to be giving everything a good old tidy up and bringing plants back out. That's not going to be for another month or two, as soon as the weather gets better, probably sort of the first week possibly in May or late April. We have a lot of plants we overwinter inside the house that need sort of a minimum of about 10 degrees Celsius, which is 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And we keep the polytunnel heated around 7 Celsius, about 45 degrees Fahrenheit. So for us to keep it warmer than that would be pretty pricey. And all the plants are overwintering pretty good, I have to say. And this is obviously, like as I say, a bit of a pre-tidy up. And what I'm going to be doing in here is, you can see there's lots of leaves all on the floor here. These plants, the Schlumbergias, have been blooming lovely for absolutely weeks on end. But of course the flowers are falling off, and as your dead leaves there falling off. So I'm just going to be giving the floor a bit of a clean. And what I'm also going to be doing is removing some of the dead leaves on some of the plants as well, mainly the succulents. As you said, the cacti, don't really have to worry about cleaning them up during the winter. They don't really do anything. They're just sitting there pretty much dormant. And then when I give them their first watering in the next few weeks, they'll plump up and start to send out flower buds. But I haven't really got to worry about pruning them. But the only jobs I'll be doing with the cacti is this time of year is I check for pests, signs of pests. So I'll be lifting each individual pot up and checking that there's no pests lurking underneath. And also I do look for signs of flower buds, because it is sort of still late-ish winter, almost early spring. And sometimes you do see some of the mammillarias and some of the rabutas that will be sending out flower buds. And the reason being is if they do start to form flower buds, then I will give them a tiny bit of water at this time of year now, a bit of a pre-spring watering. But obviously this can depend on the weather forecast. If they forecast very cold weather and cloudy weather, I would just leave it until more spring-like weather is forecast. And just show there's times of possibly little flower buds forming on this rabutia there, and probably the next couple of weeks things will start to come into flower bud again. There's flower buds on some of the Camaceras there as well, but I'm still going to keep them mostly dry. Apologies for that guys, I think somebody's mowing their lawn. We've had pretty good weather here the past couple of weeks here in Ireland, so we can't complain. Feels very spring-like. And so going to be pruning some of the, not pruning but removing the dead leaves off some of the succulents here. And as this is all dead leaves, I'm going to be taking these off and pruning back any dead growth. So this is just getting it all preparation just for the spring. And what I'm going to be doing now is, first of all, I'm going to give the floor in the polytunnel a bit of a broom up, and to make sure there's no dead leaves hanging about where all loads of bugs can hide. Now with the succulents, it's very common, especially with things like echeverias. As they grow, they do sort of drop a lot of their dead leaves, and it's important that you do remove these. And so they should come away pretty easy. And it's difficult trying to do this with the one hand, guys, so apologies for the dodgy filming here. And it's important you do this because bugs and pests can hide underneath the dead leaves. And I have made a video on how to remove the dead leaves from echeverias. And obviously this is sort of something you do every all through the year, I should say, not just a pre-spring job. Echeverias do drop the bottom lower leaves normally. But as I say, because this is in the polytunnel and I'm not in here all the time, I tend to sort of not do as much pruning and preening as I would do with the plants inside the house, obviously, but I'm trying to get everything all prepared, all ready for the spring, so they're all nice and tidy. So this is just what this video is about, really. This is just to show you what I'm doing here, just getting things tidied up for the winter, and also things for you to look out for when you do get your plants all ready for the spring. Just make sure that they're all pruned and dead leaves are removed. And obviously dead flower heads as well. I'm going to be cutting that off 2. And all the dead leaves removed from here. And obviously I'm not going to film the whole video, this is our Aeniums, because you'll be here a long time if I show you the whole process of pruning and preening all the plants. And this is just a video just to show you what I'm going to be doing here and what to look out for. Aeniums are very common, they always drop their lower leaves as they on the rosette top as they grow, and so they're not to worry about that. And I said this probably is desperate need of a water. You can feel that succulents go very sort of limp and rubbery when they need watering, and now the weather's sort of picking up now. I'm going to be giving this just a little bit of water. As I say, succulents don't like to be kept the complete dry winter rest like a lot of the cacti do. I do pretty much keep all of mine dry, but I have been watering some of them, the ones that are showing signs of shrivelling, and because the weather's been mild, not a problem there. And as I say, that's pretty much it. So pruning the dead flower heads off on here, which I'm going to be doing, and removing the lower dead brown leaves. And we're going through all of these succulents now, lifting them up, checking for bugs, and also taking all of the dead leaves off and giving everything a bit of a clean. As you see here, this is easy to remove on there, just to scoop all the dead leaves. And I say it's not particularly harmful. I mean, leaving dead leaves on the succulents isn't going to hurt them. It's just that personally, aesthetically, it looks nicer to remove them. And also, springtime round the corner, pests do like to hibernate and sort of hide, I should say, rather than hibernate, underneath the dead leaves, so you don't see them. And this is just a bit of a pre-spring cleanup. So that's all you really need to do to look out for at this time of year. And spring is only just round the corner, thank goodness. So there's a lot of the dead leaves there. I'm going to carry on going round all of the plants, removing the dead leaves and cutting them down. And so I'm not going to film the whole video because it'd be such a long video for you. I'm just showing you what I'm going to be doing, and show you if you have a greenhouse or polytunnel or wherever you have your plants, even the ones indoors, just remove the dead leaves, get everything ready for spring, check for signs of flower buds and anything coming into growth. And that's really all you need to do. Also, use this time of year now to make a list of any plants I'm going to be repotting in the spring. And I've got loads, guys. In fact, a lot of the plants here, as you see, I've got pots already. I've got so much I want to do, but I have to be very patient when it comes to the spring, because the weather could still change now and get very cold. And a lot of these plants I'm going to be potting on, not necessarily into bigger pots, but I'm going to be changing the soil, because a lot of the ones we've got, I'm not quite happy with the soil. Some of them don't necessarily need to be repotted, but changing the soil will freshen them up a little bit. And I'm going to show you when I do a lot of the repottings, and so far so good. As you can see, that's all the cacti there. And what I'm sort of going to need a bit of a, see, this is the example of peat based soil. It's not something I'm overly keen on. I prefer to use more of a loam base, but they're doing pretty good. I'll only repot cacti if they need to be repotted. It's always best to under than over pot, but they look pretty good. I've got my Lophophores, I repotted them last year, and they seem to be doing okay. I'm also going to be covering a lot of these with top dressing as well. I'm going to be using some nice grit on the top of them to finish them off. And that's pretty much it, guys. So I'm going to carry on now, removing all the dead leaves here, and pruning and preening. And thank you so much for watching, guys. I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of plant power from across the Emerald Isle. And until the next video, bye.